Your thoughts on your team and their efforts today?
I think we did well. Of course, we don't want to play like this, defending so much and giving the ball to the opponent. But with all the games, with all the problems, and then the characteristics of the players, try to leave Lindelof, for example, without games, trying to let him without a lot of meters to cover. Casemiro is more comfortable in this kind of game, so I try to adapt and to imagine the game that we could win, and we proved that today.
Are you on the back foot mainly because it's a tactical decision from yourself, given the options you've got, the players you have available?
It's also the opponent. The last game for Champions League was high pressure from PSV, man to man, and they are harder to mark in this way. In the low block, we can control more the game, and then we have some good players for transition. I think Garnacho made a really complete game. So he was upset last Thursday, and today it was amazing.
That said, once you went ahead in the game, did you feel like the confidence grew and you became a much more threatening side?
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal, and we try to let the starting 11 until the goal, because you know that when you suffer a goal, all that the players tired from the last games is going to show, and we push a little further. I think it works. It worked a little bit, but we try to choose the best moments to press high, and we have some moments winning the ball, and we create a lot of chances to win the game today.
As the Manchester United manager, Ruben Amorim. This is the Manchester United midfielder, Christian Eriksen, live from Old Trafford. Christian, thank you very much indeed for joining us. What was your view on that 1-1 in the end?
Yeah, I think we can be okay happy with a draw. I think we had some good opportunities to even win the game, but obviously being further back than we want to, then it's difficult. But I think we played a good game in general.
What about that free kick? You've taken a few in your time from Bruno Fernandes just before half-time.
Yeah, well, you have to let them play at the moment. You have to shoot at the moment because they're going in. Yeah, I think even with Owen in the studio, I think we did a few free kicks before. But yeah, maybe he's been watching clips.
Christian, was that the game plan a little bit today? Obviously, you kind of let them have a little bit of the ball, was kind of sit in and then try and hit him on the counter. I thought Garnacho especially was terrific. He gave the team so much going forward.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of the game plan, looking back or staying back a bit more and trying to punish them on that. And yeah, that was literally the game plan, like you saw in the game.
And you'd gone to 75 minutes with the lead. Touch frustrated that the goal eventually went in from Arsenal at that point?
Yeah, I think so also. With the chances we had to go up for 2-0 and really close the game off was a bit unfortunate. But I think, yeah, we kept ourselves in the game for a long time, and we had the belief that we were going to win, and unfortunately we didn't. But yeah, it's always a bit disappointing to concede a goal in the last few minutes.
And you found a goalkeeper in unbelievable form in that second half, and in the very last minute as well, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I think he had very good saves, which kept them in the game, obviously.
Overall, what's the general feeling about progress under Ruben Amorim at the moment?
No, I think it's obviously you're United. Everything is slow. Everything is more or less. Everybody wants it to be quicker and fast and everything, but it takes time to adapt to new stuff. It's a new style of play, new position on the pitch, and a different manager, like I said. So yeah, it takes time to adapt, and yeah, we are doing our best to adapt as quick as possible and get used to it. And yeah, obviously when you're United, there's no time to adapt stuff like that.
No, and he hasn't been able to pick a settled side either, has he? I mean, that makes it more difficult.
Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of injuries in and out, a lot of games, and not enough wins. That makes it a lot easier.
But just finally, a positive result today to set you up for an enormous game on Thursday there at Old Trafford now.
Yeah, it will be. It will be a massive game and very important for our season in general to win the next game and go through to the next round and give ourselves an option to go through.
Appreciate you joining us, Christian. Thanks very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Cheers. That's Christian Eriksen live at Old Trafford. He's right, though. I mean, it does take time, but when you're a Man United player, you're not given time, are you? You know that.
No, and I think Christian understands that as well. That's probably why he came out. He's probably one of the best talkers, I think. And I think also Ruben probably relied, on his experience. Casemiro's experience, I thought, did well in there today. Bruno playing in centre mid. I think he looked at those guys, thought, right, let's be solid, let's defend deeper, be solid in the middle of the park. Obviously, with Garnacho on the right-hand side, I thought he was terrific. And then Mazraoui, especially second half. He made some brilliant runs coming inside. So they had a game plan. And you know what? You'd have to say it came off. So credit to the manager and the players. But again, it's not often you see a Man United team that's got 30-odd% possession. But I think it was needs must. And I think the game probably on Thursday might be quite similar, against Sociedad. So that is a great blueprint for that game. They need to win. And if they can win the Europa League, Steve, they save their season. Whether you finish 14th or 15th, the Europa League is Champions League. And then you put yourself in a different position altogether.
Yeah, but that's not as easy as said and done, is it? Winning the Europa League at this moment in time.
Well, they probably have the best squad in there, in the Europa League. So why not? You've got to plant a seed and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go win the Europa League. We've got the squad to do it. They got more than enough players to go and do it. I think the favourites were Tottenham and Man United, even though they've had really difficult season. And the only reason that, Steve, is because of what they got as players. They can produce it. They did it, against Liverpool, didn't they?
Yep.
Went to Arsenal and got something, did it again today. And I think maybe that's a blueprint. Don't try and dominate the games. Play on the counter.
Like a cup team, really.
Yeah, play on the counter. You got the players defend well, and then you got players at the top of the pitch who can win your game in Bruno and obviously Garnacho.
And Garnacho, once someone like Ahmad comes back as well. And I think that when you are playing against a team like Arsenal, a top team that doesn't have the kind of striker that can finish those games off for you, to make those games comfortable for you with the possession you have in the first half, you can get away with winning games like that at Manchester United. Playing so deep, Garnacho the furthest forward, because he was, if we're going to be totally honest, he was a real problem for us. The way he could run them out of problems and get them up the pitch and get them up there, and it was him who got the foul for the free kick. So their game plan in that respect worked, but it works because Arsenal can't be ruthless enough in front of goal to absolutely finish them off.
Is that his best game under Amorim today, Garnacho?
You know what? Often we've seen him play on the left, and he's quite effective coming inside. But I actually don't mind him on the right because he has to pass the ball more. Mm-hmm. When he plays on the left, he comes inside and he shoots. And I thought he created a lot for his teammates today. So I'll be honest, I rarely watch him and don't think he's a really, really good player. And I really wouldn't want to see him go because I think in a way you got to build around him or, the Kobe Mainus or the Marcus Rashford. I know he's gone, but you should build around these young guys. I know they might need to sell him for financial reasons. But I want to see these guys play there and grow and improve and enjoy the good times that we have because he's been there and it's been quite difficult. But again, today, he was the shining light. Him and Bruno were the ones pushing that team forward when they needed it.
Yeah, and as you say, Trossard's foul on him created the opportunity just before half-time for the free kick.
Yeah, it was. And again, he was there, for me, the main focal point of what the problems that we were going to get were going to come from him. Trossard there, coming back, but then... he's chasing. He's pushed him in the back. It's a foul. It's a foul, and he's the danger guy. So, and once this happened, you just started to feel. You just started to feel like, oh no, Bruno he's counting out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, you know what? You look at that there. It just looks far. It looks far, and I'm thinking to myself, as players, yes, you want to get to the 10, but then you want to start creeping because you look at even the guys, the big guys, and they jump, and it's still the keeper can't get there, simply because, for me, he hasn't got to do a lot to get that over that wall. And the goalkeeper, you can see him coming over to the left, and he can't get there, because, for me, the wall's too far back.
But you know what? Sometimes when you get a free kick like that, sometimes, depending where the wall is, sometimes they're too close. As a free kick taker, I put the ball back, even though the ref puts it down.
You give it a yard.
I take it back a little bit because it just allows you to get the ball over the wall. That looked like there was too much space between the ball
and the wall.
Yeah. Often they look closer, and they probably were. I think there was a difference of about a yard, wasn't there?
We were just too obedient in that wall, You normally got a referee saying to you to move, but you got to sneak up. We didn't even sneak up. We just stood there. Like sticks in the mud.
Anyone think you knew what you were talking about for direct free kicks for United at that end against
we're not
Arsenal?
getting in again.
Maybe the one guy jumped there in that wall, but that was the technique of that, getting it up and down quickly was fine. I thought Bruno's one, the way it went in, it wasn't one that I felt went up and down quickly. It just went over.
The one thing I would say about the execution of the free kick, if it's done right, doesn't matter who's in goal, it doesn't matter who's in the wall. If you get it right, it gets over the wall in dips.
You can't save it.
You can't do anything about it. Because if you cheat, the only way you save is if you cheat. And if you cheat, I'll go the other way. If you get it up and down, I don't think there's anything the wall can do.
So just credit to Bruno here then?
I think it's a credit to Bruno. I think Reyes may be a step right. So by the time, once he takes a step left, he can't get there.
You know what, when you put all things, when you add everything up with a goalkeeper, his position, the wall may be further back, and his technical ability, you have to give him credit for it, because it's an opportunity that's arisen simply because of the capabilities what he's got, and he's punished that. The wall's too far back, goalkeeper's too far, and he's punished that because he's good enough to do that.
Do you know, when I would have done the same as Bruno, because I would have looked at Ryan and thought, you're too far over to that corner.
Yeah.
Do you have a look at the keeper first?
I think they should cheat, even though that's his corner, and if it goes in that corner where he stood, it's his fault.
Yeah.
You need to make me make a different decision. Once he stood there, I'm thinking I'm going in that corner. And I think he realised it at the end, that's why he took a step left.
Yep.
So I think, in a way, he could have stood a step left, and he actually might have saved it once he got there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
So I think he's too far over, and Bruno thought, I'm going right there. And to be fair, it wasn't even perfect, but it was good enough.
It went in low. When it went in, it went in towards the middle of and it went in low into the net. It's not like it went high into the net because he had to get it up and it whipped in. It went in low into the net. I think that all these things, you watch where it goes in, Steve. He's trying to get across, and like, look, you look at it from this point of view here now. All he's got to do is beat the wall here. You know, look, look, it's in the middle. It's in the middle of the goal. It's like, you know, it's not in the top corner.
And
it's
he
in the
actually
middle.
doesn't get near it. Right?
Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. So that wall needed to be, for me, at least a yard closer to the ball, so then Bruno would have to get something on that. And that's where the mistakes come. When you have to try and put something on it so she could get it up there, then maybe you get it wrong, it goes over the bar or it hits the wall. But like in that instance, he got it over the wall.
Everybody's playing chess out there. Do you know, whether it was the wall with the goalkeeper, and you just got to create a fraction. That probably went in Bruno's favour, maybe kind of where the wall was in Ray's position. But credit Bruno, it was a brilliant free kick.
I must interrupt your free kick clinic, Owen, because Declan Rice is waiting to speak to us live at Old Trafford, who of course got that equaliser. Declan, thanks for joining us. How do you view that in the end, 1-1?
Probably a fair point, if I'm being honest with you. Wasn't a lot in the game. I thought first half we passed them and moved really well, just didn't have that creativity and threat. And then obviously you give player Bruno, with the quality he's got, a free kick like that. Yeah, it was a great goal. So you find yourself 1-0 down. So then second half, you know, we've got to give it everything. And luckily enough, I think we got ourselves back in the game, but we was a bit naive probably the last 10 minutes and could have thrown the game away with some silly mistakes from us. So probably look at it as a fair point, if I'm being honest.
Dex, how was the manager at half-time? What was he saying? Because we did seem to have a lot of possession. We did seem to be doing a lot on the edge of their box. What was his opinion of how it was going? What did he say?
More creativity, more threat, you know, cause more chaos, more runs into the box, you know, more crosses in the box, doing things to disrupt Man United, because, you know, they were comfortable in a low block, and we was passing the ball around really well, you know, from the back phase up until the edge of the box. It was a lovely first half, but in football you need to score goals, and quite wasn't like PSV on Tuesday night where it was flowing like that. Sometimes you have to credit Man United's defence. They done really well, but also in the second half, you know, when he said at half time he demanded much more crosses and chaos, and we could have scored a couple ourselves, so it could have gone either way, like I said.
Declan, it's on. Just want to say congrats on that goal. What a beautiful goal that was, by the way. What a great finish. And to be honest, it looked like you were enjoying making those runs, causing a bit of chaos in that first half. You were getting in behind, causing a bit of trouble for United.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of them things. Is this the goal? I've not seen it back yet.
Yeah.
What chop from Timber?
Well, it's well worth a watch, Declan.
Yeah, it's a nice sweep. It's head over the ball. Obviously, Onana, if I went his side, he probably saves that. Obviously, a bit of banter with the Man United fans. It's nothing. It's nothing personal. So look, yeah, I think it was a great goal, but obviously it's disappointing because to score and win is probably a nicer feeling than scoring and having a draw. So I'm happy with the goal, but yeah, I'm gutted we didn't get the 3 points.
Yeah, and you mentioned the end there. I mean, what about David Raya? Just to make sure you got a point.
Yeah, incredible. That's what I mean. I'm talking about the naivety there. The last 10 minutes, we were doing things we've not done all season, or in the time that I've been here. You know, playing into Man United's hands, trying to flick the ball out in areas that we never usually do, and they could have probably scored 2 or 3 in the last 10 minutes. So luck was on our side in that sense. Sorry, if I'm being honest. But like I said, I think it's probably a fair point.
And overall, all you can keep doing is in the Premier League is keep going, keep trying to win games.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, people are going to talk about Liverpool being top with a big margin of points, but look, we've got to keep going. We've adapted the best we can with the injuries we've had, and we've been on an unbelievable run of games and playing back to back since January with such a short squad. So to be where we are is really good, but we want more. We're Arsenal. We're demanding ourselves every day that we want to win the Premier League, and we'll never give up on that. We need to keep improving and keep pushing, and look, if it's not this season, it'll be next, and we've got to keep going and going and going and believing that we can achieve great things for this club. I think that's what everyone in the change room wants, and everyone wants to achieve.
Well said. Really appreciate your time. Thank you, Declan.
Thanks,
Well
done.
See you later.
That is Declan Rice live for you at Old Trafford after that 1-1. And what a really honest, staring answer that was at the end.
Yeah, but then you heard what he said about the chances and trying to make sure that you cause chaos and score goals. What I'm more worried about than anything else is hoping that we can get the players to come in of that level, because you can see what he's doing and what he's capable of doing. And I think that the problem you have is if a player like that who continually 8 out of 10 every week is doing that, and you're still not getting those players to finish it off for you, it can get frustrating for you. But we're talking about a proper pro there who just wants to win.
So you want a striker of that calibre?
You do.
That's what Arsenal need here now.
But we're talking about somebody who plays with someone like Harry Kane. He sees somebody gets one chance and scores. Yeah. You know what I mean? He knows that. I'm not saying you could put Harry Kane in this team. Obviously prime Harry Kane you put in this team, but you put a Harry Kane kind of style of player in this team, and Arsenal are going to be closer to Liverpool, no doubt about it.
If you'd had a Harry Kane type all season, do you think you'd be sort of level points with Liverpool now?
Yeah, with that kind of finishing, Harry Kane, absolutely. Finishing something out of nothing, free kicks.
That's a 15-point difference.
Absolutely. Harry Kane gives you easily 12 points up to by this point of the season. Harry Kane alone will probably give you those points that keep you right amongst Liverpool. Absolutely.
Declan is a diamond, honestly. The way he plays, the way he communicates, even there with us, thought he was amazing. But if you look at Arsenal, they have him, or they have that equivalent in every position. Goalkeeper, back four, midfield, Ødegaard, Declan, Saka. The only one they don't have is up there, and it's arguably the most important one.
It was the hardest to get, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. But the point is, there are guys out there. Osimhen's on loan in Turkey. Even if it's for 6 months, it gives you a little window to say, is it something, does it fit? It gives you an audition. You look at the business Aston Villa did in January. Marcus Rashford, Asensio, Disasi, crazy amount of business. If you don't ask, you don't get. I just think Arsenal are this close to winning anything they want, but you're not going to do it without you're not going to maybe get Wright or Thierry or that, but you need somebody up there to take the load off Declan and Ødegaard and Saka and Martinelli. I really think they just need to push the boat on the summer and go for it.
OK, let's go back to Old Trafford. Scholes's been there all day for us, of course. Pitch side view. What did you make of that up close and personal?
Yeah, I agree with what Owen's saying. I think Arsenal are probably the better football team. Play some really nice stuff at times, but lack that real goal scorer in their team. And Ian Wright, who's in the studio today, if he was playing in this team, I'm sure he'd be rubbing his hands together. But I think as well, second half, I think United were a little bit unlucky. I think they had some good chances to win the game. They got up the pitch second half, a bit more, preyed on Arsenal's mistakes a little bit. But for their goalkeeper, I think they could have won the game.
We're actually watching two teams today desperate for a top-class centre-forward.
I think we are, Steve, yeah. I think both of them are in desperate need. Xerxes, I thought, was a little bit disappointed. I'm not sure he's a number 9 anyway, or a number 10. I'm not really too sure what Xerxes brings to the team. Højlund obviously having his issues, so I think you're right. Both teams desperate for attacking players. And as much players Arsenal had, I never really felt threatened by them. The odd chance here, and obviously Declan Rice scores a brilliant goal, but I actually thought United looked a little bit more dangerous than Arsenal.
Yeah, and you and Owen said before that they'll have to sit in. I bet you probably didn't think they'd have to sit in that deep quite as much. But is that where they're at the moment in a game like this, short-termism, to get results?
Yeah, look, I probably did expect that, Steve. Arsenal are a much better football team than Manchester United. You see the way they take the ball, the way they make angles for each other. Ødegaard again was an influence on the team, but I think he needs to step up in these types of games where you might just need the one goal. You might need that bit of brilliance. We've seen people in his position. You think of De Bruyne, Phil Foden, going back a few years, they win games for you. And Martin Odegaard is a brilliant footballer. I love to watch him, technically gifted, but at some point he's got to come and win these games for his club.
Scholes, you know, with Odegaard and the creation, you know, if you've got that striker up there who takes some of the chances where he's doing like the pre-assist and stuff like that, where he's starting things off, and you had that striker who finished it off, do you think he'd get more credit for what he's doing? Because I just think that it looks like he's on the periphery of things, simply because by the time it gets in there, it fades.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think everybody knows what a quality player. We all know, people who've played the game, watch him and you see how technical he is, how he takes the ball, how he receives it. It's brilliant to watch. It's silky to watch. It's almost at a David Silva way. I keep going back to Manchester City, I don't know why. It's almost a David Silva way. He takes the ball. It's just beautiful. It's nice to see. But he needs help as well. He needs that forward. And to be fair, he's missing Saka as well. I think Saka is he's a big player for him. The amount of times he gets over to that right-hand side and he slips the ball through to Saka, them penetrating runs, he's missing a bit of that as well. So, look, a centre-forward it's a must for us. So we've said that for, how long we said that now?
5 years.
5 years, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think it was quite that long, but I'll take 5 years. They need somebody. And it's all right going to the game in Madrid at PSV and scoring 7. I think it was different. Every goal scorer was a different player. But in these big games, that's where big centre-forward win your games, and unfortunately, at this minute, they haven't quite got that.
Yeah. Scholes, do you think Arsenal, sometimes or teams, they try and play too perfect? Do you know, like, you try and make the goal too perfect? Yeah. Sometimes just put the ball in the mixer. Do you know, like, everything was in front of United today, and I just thought they defended that quite well. Declan said they tried to create chaos with the runs, but actually, I don't think they created much chaos for United, did they?
No, I didn't see much chaos. I think first 20 minutes, I think Declan Rice did make some runs that maybe tried to be too perfect, as you said. No, it is with Arsenal. I think they're a brilliant football team. They're almost like a mid-table Spanish team, like a La Liga team who receive the ball, they play great football, as I said, they make great angles for each other, a little bit tippy-tappy at times, but they've got no real substance at the end of it. And if you're going to win leagues, if you're going to win Champions Leagues, you've got to have that bit of brilliance sometimes in the middle of the goal from a centre-forward, where it's a little bit of subtlety with a bit of movement, whether it's a rebound off a keeper, just somebody sniffing with them instincts, and you've got the perfect person next to you. He's just a little bit old.
He's seen his knee swelling today as well.
I meant you, Steve.
Scholes is just mid-table Spanish to solve it.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, but you know what I mean, though.
I do know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Brilliant football, but it's just... Look, they're second in the league. They're in the Champions League, and they're a brilliant team. And probably, I wish my team were as bad as Arsenal have been today. Do you know what I mean? But that's just the way I see it. A mid-table Spanish team, a very good, very attractive-looking Spanish team.
A nice
just
one,
can't
Scholesy.
Quite get over the line.
Exactly. I'll give you that, Scholesy.
And listen, United get a point to set them up for Thursday. It's their season, isn't it, Thursday? I mean, is that a little bit of belief to draw with Arsenal today, to take into that?
Yes. Look, I don't think the season's just on Thursday. You have to win Thursday, of course, and there's 3 more rounds to go after that. But yeah, look, that is massive for them. That is the season in a nutshell. The Europa League now, it's been a really disappointing league campaign, although they probably should have won today, and against the better teams, strangely enough, that they have seemed to find the performance from somewhere. We'll see what happens on Thursday. I thought they were quite comfortable over there in Spain, and I expect them to go through this week.
OK, thank you very much indeed, as always, Scholesy.
Scholesy.
Cheers, lads. See you later.
Thanks, Scholesy.
Bye-bye.
Scholesy just off to Spain to do some scouting. No, joking.
Well, Mikel, so much dominance, so much control. Why do you think you didn't get your full rewards for that dominance and control?
Because when we have them there with the first half that we've done, that were exceptional in the high press, in the direct play, because they didn't want to play, how we recuperate the ball and then play forward, how we have them there, our counter press, everything, but we like to put the knife there in the last 20-25 meters to test much more the keeper, because we have some unbelievable situation that we missed the last shot, the last pass. Okay, and then one action is a long ball, we lose the man as regain, and then they are running. And you have to rely on a free kick and individual quality. That's not a good bet for us. They score from that, and then they become alive because we have them. And in the second half, we scored the goal, and when they're really deep and they had really a lot of problems, and you could sense that they were tired, we didn't capitalize because we rushed the game. We give so many balls away, no circulation. We start to lose duels, and we could have ended up losing it.
So it was mentioned in commentary, actually, 2/3 of the pitch, best team in the league, perfect, kind of as you've said there. So why was that knife, that incisive moment missing in the final third, do you think?
Well, because that's sometimes what is missing, and we tried in various ways, but ultimately the execution there, it has to be in the right moment, with the right weight of pass, into the right player to have to execute. And it's true that we have a lot of situations in the second half. I think we have 3 or 4 big chances, but very frustrated as well how we conceded certain transition moments is not good enough.
So Declan Rice stood here and said something very similar, particularly the last 10 minutes. He was talking about just doing things that you never do. What happened there?
Taking goal kicks there. We were catching the ball. We want to run, give the ball away. Then is another transition, another wave, which against them is just a shot in your foot because they have so much quality that they're going to pick the right player, and normally the game should end up with a goal of Bruno.
So does that frustrate you most, actually, just that, whether it's the last part of the game, it's like, I don't recognise my team here?
It happens, so it's part of us, so we have to get better at that.
What did you make of the free kick? You already mentioned the conceding of the free kick. It comes from like a hopeful long ball. Does that annoy you more than like the strike itself?
Yeah, the way we give the ball away, yes, and then okay, you give the foul because you are rushing, then he still needs to do that, but and we discussed that. Don't give them the option because it's very likely that this is going to happen.
Was Bruno's job made easier by a wall that was far away from the ball?
I don't know that.
No, are you not mindful of that at all? Because it's been raised by United players. It was raised by Declan. So it's 11.2 yards.
Then he's been very smart. I'm sorry. He's been smart and he took advantage of that. This is football.
Okay, I mean, I raised it because I thought you might expect the referee to deal with it.
Well, yeah, I do.
And it makes the free kick's job easier.
He's smarter than the ref. That's okay. They allowed him to do it.
Okay, so how difficult was it second half then against that low block? Do you think frustration plays a part in the mistakes that start people?
Because you are so good in the first half, you do so many good things and you go 1-0 down. And mentally, it's painful, but we tried, we went for it, we scored the goal, we were really trying, but as well, we opened the gate to lose the game. And the game was completely closed. There was no chance we could lose the game, and we opened it up ourselves.
Do you excuse the players a little bit at least when you look at the concentration of injuries you've got in that forward line? Obviously Martinelli comes on, but no Saka, no Havertz, no Jesus.
I mean, I will defend my players all the time because the will to do what they want is no question about that. But in those moments, we have to be better as a team. That's it.
And do you regret not signing a striker in January? Perhaps that extra player? No, it's not about that?
No, it's not about that.
Okay, Mikel, one more. Yeah. I have to ask you about the title race because it's 15 points now. Is it too much? Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh gosh, some of these questions.
That must be the hardest part of being a manager.
Probably.
After a game, dealing with all those questions.
Yeah. That's probably tough for him because you can imagine he's probably boiling up inside. His season starts ages ago in respect of what he wants to try and do, what he's trying to achieve, what he's trying to build. I still feel like, and I won't stop thinking that he's been let down by the club in respect of getting him a striker, because I don't think we're a million miles away. And then you have to do interviews like that where it can be quite frustrating.
And do you think that's the root of it when he sees chances going begging without that player on the pitch?
Well, the thing with it is Steve, everything what he's saying and what we're doing in respect of the ball retention we've got in the final third of the opposing team's half, everything he's saying about we're doing great stuff, we're getting it in, but we haven't got no one to finish it off. If we had someone to finish it off, these conversations don't happen. Like I said, it's like 3 years and 5 winders, and we know that we've needed a striker. So I think a club of our stature trying to win the league at this point, and not having a striker to finish those chances is one of the main reasons why we won't do it again this season.